Hey, Composing Gloves here, and today we are going to be talking about, yes, ma'am or sir, depending on if you're a boy or a girl, we are going to be talking about the grand staff. So this is not a grand staff. So I'm going to really quick open one, and this is a good opportunity here to sort of look at staffs. So we come in here and pick a template. There's got to be one for piano somewhere in here. Solo piano. Okay, so we now know about clefs, and you've memorized the notes, and you've memorized accidentals, and you get that jazz now. And that's just a lot of memorizing. After that, things will become a lot more intuitive. There's just a lot of that. You got to pay your dues and define terms and memorize them. Like, I'm taking a logic class right now, and there's just a lot of freaking memorizing. I knew there's going to be like that. And so we're just going to create a new staff with a piano staff thing going on. So there's actually a bunch of rules in score writing about how you group staffs and the order of the instruments and stuff. And some of it's like just done by convention to make things easier for everyone else. But we see here the grand staff is a big deal because you're probably going to be writing for this quite a bit, the most. And that's I don't know, maybe not. Maybe you're not going to be writing for this the most. But when you start out, you're definitely going to have experience with this at some point. So, oh, that's interesting. I can dock it right here. I'm going to leave that there. So, no, I'm not. I'm going to pull it out. So, ooh, it's feisty. Okay. We know that we have a treble clef, and we know that we have a bass clef. And we know where the notes are. So, I want to point out something. So, these clefs, there's a point where they overlap, as we talked about. And we know that this note down here, if we were to put a note here, this is an F. And we know that this is a G, right? Well, if we were to go down, and we know that this is specifically G4, and this is F3. So let's take our G4 and go down to a C. This is middle C. It's middle C because it's in the middle of the piano. So, okay, that's C4. If we take this F, whoops, let me come over here. Let me select the F. It is selected. The heck's the deal with this? I don't know what the deal is with that. Okay. Anyways, we move it up to a C. This is now a C4. These two notes are the same thing. And there are ways to, I knew how to do it in Finale, but there are ways to make it so that these notes are the same note with just two stems coming off of it. But this is where they overlap. This is a very powerful tool for the piano player because now you can have one hand about an octave down and another hand about an octave up, and they're right next to each other, and you can play notes and write them in. So this allows you to sort of set the range. It's a very, very common thing. So this is middle C. This is middle C because it's in the middle. It's where the staves overlap. It's literally in the middle of the piano. It's just this great tool, weapon thing. So just know about middle C. Just know where that's at. Now, you'll see we have this grouping. This says that these two staves go together as one instrument, this bracket. There are other brackets which group things and, like woodwinds, saxophones, brass. You just categorize these things. And those are all done by convention, depending on the type of what you're writing it for and the orchestration you're working with. So there's got to be a way to move note selection up. I just haven't learned it. So I'm going to have to figure that out pretty soon. So that's that. I keep saying so. If you have any questions, let me know. Middle C, a very, very important concept, comes up in lots of writing, but the piano is the most important. This is the grand staff. Another thing that the grand staff is used for is score reduction. So you might write out your part for like the flutes, clarinets, oboes, saxophones, your dubstep crazy bass thing, and then your mom. And then you need to say, now you're going to hand it. You want to know what it sounds like on like a condensed thing or make a piano part. So what the neat thing about piano, because piano can have all these separate fingers going and it can essentially play all the parts at the same time within reason, you can condense it all down to a piano score. And so you can write out a piano part. So that's another thing that you may find yourself doing. Franz Liszt was obsessed with Beethoven's symphonies. And he there were parts that he actually at one point said it's impossible to condense this down to a piano score. And later on he actually figured it out. He came up with ways to do it without sacrificing different elements of the score and the particular voicings and things like that. But it was just a really interesting kind of deal. So this is an important concept that deserves its own video. If you have any questions, let me know. Subscribe and have a blessed day.